All right, everybody, welcome into Jaguars Today, not a Victory Monday. And let me just say off the top, any opinions expressed today are not those of 1010XL or the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are the hosts alone, and Aziz Al-Shaair is a piece of human scum. Okay, that's my personal opinion. Others may feel differently, but that's how I feel. Good morning, Tony. How are you?
Good morning. Doing fine.
DG, welcome back.
I almost made it down into the field, man.
Did you?
I was real close.
I think all of Duval wanted to fight at that moment, and I would not have blamed any Jacksonville Jaguar. Now, look, if this was division title on the line in Week 18, you got to be smart, right? But at that point, anybody who got tossed, anybody who did anything over the top, I wasn't going to bat an eye.
No, not even a little bit. I mean, the play you're talking about, the hit on Trevor, it was just so malicious. It normally in that situation when there is contact because the quarterback slid and he slid a little late or something like that, there might be a brushing. There might be a little bit of a hit, but not a forearm to the face. Like, that's already illegal. The guy's already on his butt, and you're still providing such force with your contact that you're trying to injure the guy. And that's not where football ever is. And I go back to the last time that I remember something that vicious. It was Trent Green. He was sliding in an era where they didn't care.
Right. So
we didn't care.
Didn't matter.
Yeah. If you're not down yet, we can tattoo you. But even then, everybody realized, okay, that can't be a part of this sport whatsoever, because he's defenseless. Like, he's not even trying. You can't even protect yourself in that situation. And I was listening to Rex Ryan say earlier today, quarterbacks have to stop doing that when they get in traffic like that. And I understand,
Traffic.
I know.
What?
I thought the same thing. I said, so you want him to die? He said, I'd rather him go head first right at the guy's ankles. And I said, well, now they're leading with their head, and now somebody can try to strike you in the air because you're diving. I said, that is a play for a quarterback to survive and not have to take these hits. We're trying to protect quarterbacks, right? That's more than a prime example. That is the example of you should be protecting the quarterback, and that's everybody on the field, because the quarterback is not trying to do anything. He's just giving himself up.
Well, and it's not like it's an abnormal thing for a quarterback to slide, right? In today's NFL.
Yeah.
That play has happened probably 1,000 times between every game that's been played to this point this season. It's the only time it's resulted in this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's the only time that a player took that kind of shot at the guy when he slid. Like, I don't understand any defense of the defensive player in the situation. It is as cheap a shot as you can have. Everybody in the league on defense has had to deal with that at some point in the field where the quarterback goes to slide. You have to adjust your body so you're not giving him that direct shot, trying to get over him, beside him, whatever you have to do to not put that shot on the player. We all know that's what's expected of you. We know it's not the easiest thing in the world to adjust that quickly on the fly. I can give you the benefit of the doubt if it's kind of a glancing blow. You get the 15-yard penalty. We're all like, man, come on.
Right. If you dive over him, you kind of make the contact as you're sliding over
You happen to contact him, but you weren't trying.
You don't cock the forearm and deliver it to the face.
Right to the face.
I mean, like you said, that alone is illegal in any circumstance.
Yep.
Never mind the fact, one, where the quarterback has a bubble around him. You can talk about, we're in a soft game. Well, these are the rules of engagement.
Yeah,
that
the game
Trevor
is
Lawrence
soft. You
is
can't do
playing
that.
under.
You can't do that.
You can't do that under any circumstance.
And the reason why, you could say, well, we're out here to try to take out their quarterback. Well, you got a quarterback too. Do you want your quarterback taken out? And that's why there is an agreement between all these guys to say, we're not ever going to do something like that, because we are trying to protect our quarterback too, who is going to run. He is going to slide. And you're just making it open season on quarterbacks. If that's the case, nobody wants that.
Look, I applaud Evan Ingram. We're going to miss some guys. Evan Ingram, Jarian Jones, Brandon Sheriff, Brian Thomas, Brenton Strange, a bunch of them. We're singling out guys that were easy to pick out in defense of Trevor Lawrence. I would not have batted an eye if they had taken shots after the whistle on C.J. Stroud for the rest of the day. And you could say,
that's the reason why you don't do that kind of stuff.
And I'm not speaking for the organization, this organization. I'm speaking as honestly as I can and out of emotion. If Trayvon Walker had taken out C.J. Stroud when he ran out of bounds, 2 steps out of bounds, I would have started a GoFundMe to pay that fine. I don't care. I really would not have cared at that point in time. You brought it on yourselves. And,
But C.J. Stroud didn't bring it on him.
No, but
he just happens to be on that team.
Yes, but DeMeco Ryans getting up after the game. Well, this is not indicative of the kind of person he is. Yes, it is. That's who he is. Yeah. That's what he did. Look,
I don't care who he is as a person.
Yeah.
The only thing I care about is who he is as a player, and that's who he is as a player. He's done it over and over.
Tony, even if you hadn't done it over and over, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it, right? It wasn't accidental.
It just takes one play to be a bad guy, and it's one play with the forearm shiver.
Yeah.
That's where it really went over the top.
I was watching the game when he choked Tom Brady. I saw it.
Right, we saw. Look, the hit they show on him on Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was inbounds.
Yeah,
it was a violent hit. Okay, but he gets up and punches Roschon Johnson in the face, and on the side, this is who he is.
Yeah,
he's dirty. That's who he is, and he's a scumbag. And we'll see what the NFL does.
He shouldn't be playing the rest of the season.
He shouldn't be playing the rest of the season. Now, will that be the case? I don't know. They should take past behavior into account in this instance. And look, I'm so mad. Look, it's a shame because Mac Jones, hell of a performance off the bench. Parker Washington, outstanding day. Brian Thomas Jr. made some nice plays. The offensive line did not allow a sack. Danielle Hunter came in blazing hot. And Will Anderson didn't sniff the quarterback yesterday. So, the guy we just paid $45 million to didn't allow any sacks. Let's just at least say that yesterday. So we'll get into that as well with the Walker Little contract extension being announced right before the game, or about 3 hours before the game. The word got out on that, and we'll get into all that. But today we want your reaction, and whether that's a reaction to Al-Shaair, it's a reaction to Trevor Lawrence, it's a reaction to how they played or the big picture, whatever. It's all fair game. Here's what gets me. Dylan, we got the 10-10 take there ready to fire up. Let's fire that bad boy up. Well, I'm emotional right now.
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take, brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I'm entitled to mine too about your opinion, okay? And if your opinion, I see this one, and I won't even read who it is because this is emblematic of many that I've gotten. Trevor should have never been in the game since he's not 100%. Terrible decision by the terribly managed franchise. You ever play less than 100%, Dave?
Yeah.
Like
almost every game.
Almost every game, right? What did Trevor Lawrence's shoulder have to do with anything that happened yesterday? Other than the fact that he hadn't played the last couple weeks and he was rusty and you could tell he wasn't sharp yesterday throwing it. But in terms of him getting injured, had nothing to do with the shoulder. He could have been 100%. He could have been pristine first day, just taken out a bubble wrap, and he got a forearm that rocked his head into the turf yesterday. So this idea that you're just shutting everyone down with 6 weeks to go when you can play, I just don't understand it. And if it's the last week of the season, okay.
Yeah.
Right? You were still going in that game mathematically alive to win the division. Now, is it likely? No, it's not. But could you have beaten that team yesterday? You lost by 3. Of course you could have beaten that team. You missed a field goal, which is a rare occasion for Cam Little. I'm not putting this on Cam. I'm just saying 1 or 2 plays here or there. So this idea that the organization somehow forced Trevor out there and it's malpractice. Trevor is a football player, and he's a tough guy in his own way, and he played through a bunch of injuries last year because that's what football players do.
That's what we do. That is, you are trying to be that guy. You want to be the guy that can toughen it out, that can go out there with a little injury here, a little injury there, because we all got them. It's a violent sport, and you can show up and show the fans that you can play through injuries. That's what we are. We try to be as much a gladiator as we can, and that is one of the things that we aspire to be, to play through injuries.
I'm not saying if you're injured to the point you can't protect yourself or it's diminishing your performance.
We would have seen him play where he's hobbling around or he's constantly going at his shoulder,
or he's turning. To
like
himself.
He's doing stuff that's not a part of the game. But he was playing just like he looked like he was healthy. Now, like we said, he might have been a little rusty. He hadn't played in a few weeks. Those kind of things happen as well. If we were 8-2 or whatever, nobody would be saying that. They would be saying, get him back out there so we can keep winning these ball games. But it's a little different when the record is what it is, and people want to have opinions after the fact. The quarterbacks didn't even get touched yesterday, like you said, in the pocket, barely any pressure. So that would have been the best game possible to come back for. If he had been getting pounded, maybe you get him out early because he's just getting beat up out there. But that wasn't the case. And you can't look at this play and say, well, he shouldn't have been out there. Now he's hurt because they put him out there and they forced him to play. No. He
could have been standing on the sideline, and that play would have had just as much legitimacy as if Al-Shaair had run up and hit him with a forearm there.
Yeah.
It was an illegal play outside the bounds of what's acceptable. And, yes, do you risk taking an illegal shot when you play football? But you risk that when you're the first day of camp. You risk that every day of your football career to some degree. So this idea that Trevor is we have to treat him like this fragile guy, I think is wrong. Would you going back to his second year or going into his second year, they had the number 1 pick. They took Trayvon, right? Mm-hmm. Well, when they got eliminated that year to clinch the record or to miss the playoffs, should we have sat him that year too? Do we sit him every year? Yeah. As soon as you're eliminated from the playoffs, that's it. We're not going to play Trevor Lawrence anymore? And I get it. You're saying, oh, he was hurt. He wasn't 100%. Had no impact on what went down yesterday.
Nobody's 100% out there.
That's my 10-10 take for the day. We'd love for you to share yours with us.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.